All right. Today we're going to unpack a tech keynote that, honestly, started with a surprising amount of heart. We're going to look at how a super passionate community in Jaipur, India, didn't just inspire a huge company investment, but also kicked off this radical new vision for how we're all going to build software with AI.
You know, most tech keynotes kick off with product stats and big numbers. This one? It started with the line about communicating by heart. And that simple idea, it tells you everything you need to know. This wasn't just about code. It was about connection. It was about a community that was so incredibly passionate that Copado's leadership just had to stop and listen.
So, just how passionate are we talking? Well, get this. An event they originally planned for maybe a few hundred people got over 1,500 signups in 1 week. That's not just a sign of interest, folks. That is the start of a full-blown movement.
So, to really understand the huge announcements that came out of this keynote, we've got to start with the why. Why Jaipur, of all places? Well, it all comes down to this incredible community and Copado's decision to, as they put it, build a home right there in India.
I mean, the story here is just wild. You've got this plan for a small 100-person meetup that just explodes. The energy was so real, so undeniable, that it led directly to this, Copado opening its first ever office and its APAC headquarters right there in Jaipur. It was a direct investment back into the people who showed up in such a huge way.
Okay, so with that incredible community story setting the stage, now we can get to the how. Copado's Chief Product Officer, Rajni Joseph, she took the stage to announce this massive strategic shift, a whole new vision for the future called Agent Ops. So what in the world is Agent Ops? Well, think of it as a totally new way to build software. It's a workflow where the human expert is firmly in the driver's seat. You define the mission, you set the goals, and then you let these specialized AI agents handle all the complex, heavy lifting in the middle.
And here's how that partnership works in the real world. It's a simple loop. First, the human, that's you, defines the what and the why. You're the strategist. Then, the AI agents get to work. They handle the planning, the building, the testing. But, and this is the most important part, the human always comes back in at the end to verify. You are the final quality check. You're the boss.
And this slide gives you a perfect visual of what they mean by agent orchestration. See, it's not one giant all-knowing AI, it's more like a whole crew of little specialists. You've got a plan agent, a build agent, a test agent. Each one is an expert in its little area, and they all work together to get the mission done that you laid out for them.
So what does this new world actually feel like for a developer day-to-day? Well, it means you get a new copilot. Let's meet the AI at the center of this whole thing, which, funnily enough, the team nicknamed Carlos during the keynote.
Man, this slide just nails the shift perfectly. On the left, the old way. We've all been there, right? Staring at a blank screen, painfully typing out hundreds of lines of code. And on the right, the new way. Your main job isn't just to write code anymore, but to write one single, crystal clear prompt and then work with your AI partner to make it perfect.
And this quote right here, this really hits on the biggest impact. The most critical skill is changing. It's moving away from writing perfect syntax and toward being able to explain your vision clearly in a prompt. And what that does is it basically tears down the wall between low coders and pro coders, which means anyone with a great idea can now build something amazing.
Okay, so this all leads to the big question, the elephant in the room that everyone's asking. Does this mean AI is replacing developers? The keynote tackled this question head-on, arguing that this isn't about elimination, it's about elevation.
And they use this absolutely brilliant analogy to explain it. Think about the early days of NASA. The job title, computer, wasn't a machine, it was a person, mostly women actually, who calculated these incredibly complex flight paths by hand. When machine computers showed up, were those people fired? No, their roles were elevated. They stopped doing the tedious math and became the very first programmers, telling the machines what to do.
And that's the core idea right here. Developers are moving up the value chain. As AI starts to handle the repetitive, manual coding, the human expert is freed up to focus on the things we do best: big picture architecture, creative problem solving, and overall system strategy.
So let's bring this all home. Based on this vision from Copado, what are the key things that every single developer, team lead, and tech leader out there should be thinking about like right now?
Okay, let's boil it down to the essentials. First, stop thinking of AI as your replacement. Start seeing it as your most powerful assistant. Second, if you aren't already, start practicing your prompting skills, because that is the new language of creation.
Third, get comfortable with your new main job. You are the strategic guide and the final verifier. And finally, get excited, because the barrier to building incredible things just got a whole lot lower for absolutely everyone.
You know, in the end, this keynote was about so much more than just a product launch. It was a story about how a passionate community sparked a whole new vision for the future. A future of software development powered by a partnership between humans and AI. And it leaves every single one of us with one big question to answer.